Hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Guys, I know I am not in my normal location. Like every movie review I've been doing last couple months or so, I've been shooting it in my normal setup, but I couldn't tonight because it's like late. I just got back from the movie I'm seeing, that a movie that I saw and will be reviewing in this video. It's just turned 1:30 literally right now, so I can't shoot in my normal house. I am in my car. I'm right like outside my house, but I live with people, so everybody's asleep right now. But I wanted to shoot this review and get it out of the way because I don't want to have to, I just saw the movie, want to get my thoughts out. So anyway, guys, yes, I am in this video. I'm going to be doing a review for The Intern. The Intern is a film from director Nancy Meyers. It just came out this weekend. A lot of releases, not a lot of new releases this weekend. And yes, I did go see this movie, and I didn't think I would. I'll get into that in a second. But it stars Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro. And when I saw the trailers, I didn't think I was going to go see this movie. What happened was I was up at school where I, go to school. I was on campus, and a friend had asked me if I wanted to go see this movie with them. And I said, sure. In a way, I was like, yeah, there was no part of me that was like, yeah, you have to go out and see this movie. But this person wanted to see it, so I said, yeah, sure, I'll go with you, why not? I didn't want to let them go alone or anything. And so we did have a fun night out, indeed, and we saw the movie. And, of course, whenever someone wants to go see a movie with me, I will go because I love watching movies, and then I get to review them. So that's awesome. But yeah, so that's how I got to see The Intern. That's why I don't have a poster. So in case you guys are wondering, yeah, that's why I don't have a poster, and that's why I'm shooting this review now. But anyway, guys, let's get into the premise of The Intern, and then I'll get into my thoughts on the movie. The movie is set in the modern day, and I feel personally that the main, or essentially what we are introduced to our main character. His name is Ben Whittaker in the film, and he's played by Robert De Niro. He is I wouldn't even say middle-aged man. He's more so a senior citizen. He's in his 70s, around there, and he's kind of hit this point in his life where he's like, okay, I really just don't have that much to do with my life. I need something. I need that sort of spark to just, bring back. I had such a great life. He is a widower. He lost his wife. He loses his wife, as he explains in the beginning of the film. And he really doesn't have much to do with himself. He often finds himself very lonely. So he decides to apply for an internship at a fashion apparel online website company. And the company was founded by the character, Anne Hathaway's character, and I already forget her name. I don't know why, but Anne Hathaway plays the young founder of this company, and she apparently sets up this senior intern program where an actual senior citizen or somebody had asked her to set up this program, and she was like, yeah, okay. She's extremely busy. She's a workaholic, doesn't spend a lot of time with her husband or her daughter in the film. And they set up this program, and Robert De Niro comes to their firm and ends up becoming her intern. And the two of them grow a very close relationship as he starts working for her. They come from two completely different time periods, so it's pretty interesting to see how Robert De Niro's character, has a briefcase and everything. He's so old-fashioned, but in a way that sort of helps her and gives her a solid point in her life, because her life is just currently a mess and she's trying to find a CEO. And that's really all I'm going to say in regards to the movie. That's essentially the main premise. Now, that's actually a pretty refreshing premise, if you ask me. A senior intern. I mean, we had that movie The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson that I didn't see, and now we have the Intern. So I think the idea of having Robert De Niro, or having them hire senior citizens and use them as interns, I think that was actually a very clever idea. And that was the only thing, however, that jumped at me at the trailer. First off, I couldn't tell, judging by the trailer, if the movie was going to be a romantic comedy or just a drama. I understood it was leaning more towards comedy, but the trailer just didn't appeal to me. Like, it wasn't funny. I was like, oh boy, I just don't know about this movie. And so I went to go see it with my friend, and in the end, guys, after having seen the movie, I will say this much: I was actually pleasantly surprised, because not that I went in this movie with low expectations, I just went in the movie like, okay, it's probably gonna be not gonna stun me. I'm probably not gonna love it, but I ended up walking out of the movie really enjoying it. I think there was a lot of good going for this movie. I think that the woman who wrote and directed this movie, Nancy Meyers, she's done previous works before that have gotten mediocre praise, like little to high praise, essentially. She did It's Complicated with Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep, and I believe she also did way back The Parent Trap, I want to say. Which I haven't seen either of those movies. And I think she also did another movie called The Holiday with Jack Black, but I could just be completely wrong about that. I know the other two movies she did, though. So I really didn't know what to expect going into this movie, but I gotta say this much: it was a very clever premise, and I think it was executed very well. And in the end, in the long run, I think it's just it's a small, sweet little film, in my opinion. It gives you that feeling as you're watching it, that it gives you this feeling of like comfortability throughout the entire movie. That's what I felt as I was watching it. I'll say this much: like, it was so what's the word, relieving, I guess, or refreshing, I would say, to see a movie with this type of premise and them taking advantage of it and bringing in two incredibly talented actors in Robert De Niro in Anne Hathaway. That was like a tongue twister. And Anne Hathaway. Say that 3 times, guys. And Anne Hathaway. And Anne Hathaway. And blah. But yeah, it was clever to bring in an idea where you have a completely elderly man, who still has his wits and everything, like Robert De Niro, and who's still like one of the best actors we've ever had, and have that juxtaposed with this young, overworked female, head of the company, going through a lot of different things in her life right now, and to just have this simplicity of this sort of work relationship that they start up together, that becomes slowly more personal in all the right ways. It really just makes each character, I'd say, in a sense, feel better about themselves. And the two of them prove to be like the rock for each other, and they grow a very interesting relationship, or interesting friendship. And I really bought into it. I bought into all the beats of the story. I bought into these characters. I bought into the performances. I bought into the scenario. I bought into the world. I thought it was actually pretty clever. I think there were some humorous moments in the movie. I think there are some moments. I don't think this was a flawless movie by any means. I think there's some moments where they might have dropped the ball in the movie. I think as a comedy primarily, I think not every single laugh hit for me. There were a few. It got a couple chuckles out of me, though. It's not that type of raunchy kind of lowbrow humor. It's a lot more elegant, if you know what I mean. And I think a lot of the scenarios that certain characters get themselves involved in, or a lot of the humor, really stems from just like one line of dialogue that a character gives, and that's honestly what contributed to my smiling or laughing in the film whenever I did. Real quick, let's segue into performances, because I feel that is an important topic. Let's just say this much: Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway are two of the best things going for this movie, apart from the talented structure of the story. I think Robert De Niro is... First off, it's great that the man's still getting roles and he's still getting attention in Hollywood, because he without a doubt has been in arguably some of the best movies ever made. So to see Robert De Niro just, still getting roles, and more specifically roles that fit his current age, I think that's really awesome. And I think he's great in this movie. First off, just have to mention this. Did anyone get that vibe that he literally was just an older, more, I would say maybe sane version of Travis Bickle? Um, at some point in the movie, he starts driving Anne Hathaway to like work. He picks her up and everything, and she's just sitting in the back and he's just driving. And I was like, you know what, as he was filming this, he was totally thinking of when he shot Taxi Driver. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, think about it. It's really Travis Bickle years after the events of Taxi Driver. Look at it this way. It's all set in New York. Travis Bickle moved from Manhattan specifically to Brooklyn. He's lonely, as he was in Taxi Driver. He feels like he needs something in his life. Travis Bickle absolutely did in Taxi Driver. And he drives people around. It's Travis Bickle. No, all kidding aside, though, that's just what I thought about as I was watching the movie. Robert De Niro was great in this movie. I think he and Anne Hathaway have incredible chemistry together. I think Anne Hathaway killed it in a couple scenes. I think there are some moments where her character really needs to break down. She hits a few low points, and not only is Robert De Niro there for her, there was one scene specifically where they're in a hotel and they're having a real heart-to-heart, and I feel Robert De Niro's character could have been even more of a presence in that specific scene, just now that I think of it. But overall, the relationship that these two form is really something quite fascinating to me. It's odd, it's different, and it's like a young, old friendship between two people who are completely different, and they just end up relying on each other because of how reliable they are as people. How specifically Robert De Niro's character is. He's very quiet, he's reliable here or there, but no, not here or there. I meant he was quiet here or there. He is reliable throughout the movie, and that's why his character is so important. So yeah, I thought he was great. I thought Anne Hathaway was incredible in this movie. Again, that hotel scene that she was in, I think she really nailed it. I think she had to bring a lot of raw emotion into that moment, and I really, really bought into it. I think the supporting cast is fine as well. Adam Devine, Rene Russo. I'll talk more about them in a second. Another strong suit of this movie, I think, is definitely the script. I think the dialogue, when it's not either quirky or funny, or slightly comical, I think it's really sweet and touching. I think there are a few heavily dramatic moments sprinkled here or there throughout the film. And yes, the film maintains a certain tone throughout all of it. But I just like how the script was more or less a blend of comedy and real human emotion. These characters, both of them, have a lot of baggage, as all good characters should in a script, and I really felt their specific emotional moments that they had, or specifically Anne Hathaway's character, and I just really bought into that, and I really got to praise the script for that. I think there is one great funny moment between Robert De Niro and a couple other interns and employees. They have to break into a house. I thought that was a really clever moment. A little outrageous, but I bought into it for the sake of the movie. I think the pacing was also quite good in the film. The movie's 2 hours, and although I will complain slightly about the length, I feel they definitely could have trimmed 10 to 15 minutes off the movie. The film never felt slow or anything. I just felt, okay, this certain character's side story, do we really need it? Do we really need this component of it? So I would have just trimmed a few things here or there. Changing up angles, guys, because why not? But in the end, yeah, acting, chemistry between the actors, writing, directing, very solid, cinematography, very good. The editing, the pacing really worked for me. The setting, the location really worked in Brooklyn. There's some sweet moments. There's a shocking moment in the movie. I think it ultimately was a bit of a surprise. I really didn't expect it to be as good as, it kind of was. Just a few minor little faults here or there, though, for the movie. I do feel, again, and I mentioned this earlier, that they could have trimmed 15 minutes off of the movie. There's two characters. There's one character, Adam Devine's character, was once in a relationship with Anne Hathaway's secretary, her female secretary, and that whole scenario could have been cut entirely from the movie. They bring it up, and they didn't even really resolve those two characters and their dilemma. It's like they just brought it up just for the sake of bringing it up, and they really just could have cut that moment or cut that beat of the story out completely. Not even in the movie or in when they shot it. Like Nancy Meyers should just cut it out in the script, in my opinion. I also feel Rene Russo's character, like, she has a good presence, and I understand why she was in the movie. I feel that there was a few scenes where maybe we just didn't need a scene between her and Robert De Niro. Maybe she didn't even need to be there. I mean, they really could have just cast anyone as her character and not had that whole relationship component of everything with her and Robert De Niro's character. So that's how I felt about that. I also didn't all that buy into the ending, or not this last shot, specifically one of the last moments between two characters. It's very non-Hollywood, like it's something you don't expect. So I'll give the movie that, but I just don't know if I all buy into the realism of it. And one other minor thing, I think that was it. I think that was everything that I felt about The Intern. But yeah, other than that, I like the movie. I do recommend you guys check it out. I feel it's a good watch. It's one of those feel-good movies, in my opinion. It makes you feel really good about yourself. It's sweet. It's touching here or there. It's, you know, it's soulful. It's one of those movies. So if you guys aren't doing anything this weekend, you like to watch a movie, I would definitely recommend The Intern. I'm going to give it a solid grade of an 8.75 out of 10 or a B+. I know, it surprised me. It was pretty decent. So guys, if you've seen The Intern, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. I thank you guys as always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.